I'm AC Brown, and you're listening to Is My Aura on Straight, a podcast designed to help you start living from your core instead of your conditioning. Each week, we'll discuss topics ranging from human design, astrology, metaphysics, spiritual self-development, and everything in between. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Is My Aura on Straight. I am your host, AC Brown. I am your psychic channel, your spiritual guide, your spiritual teacher, your favorite human design bae, and I'm also an entrepreneur. And I want to thank you so much for joining me for another episode. In today's episode, we are starting off with my BC series, like I talked about last episode. And I'm calling this the BC series because all of these interviews that I've done started probably last year in October, November of 2019. So I'm calling it the Before COVID series. You did hear one of those interviews, which was with Toy Smith. And I actually released that, I believe, like right at the beginning of the pandemic, probably early April. And then I took a break because I didn't know what was happening in the world. But the podcast is back, and you will be getting the rollout of these interviews that I've done with these amazing women who all have different aura types. And then I'll be back with some wisdom and knowledge and spiritual teachings and guiding and human design and astrology and all of that good stuff. And then we're going to start incorporating new episodes of interviews in, which I'm super excited about. So first person up in the BC series is not only a mentor, but she's also a friend. Xayli Barclay is the reason why you guys see me on camera, literally. If it wasn't for her, you probably wouldn't know what I look like. When I started doing the aura affirmations, and I was working with her, that's what I gave her. I said, I can commit to doing that in my stories. And I did. And now I'm on YouTube, and that's expanding. My video content is expanding. And she coined the phrase camfidence, especially for women and women of color who just need that push to show up in their life and in their business, and doing that through video content. She is a powerhouse. She's a thinkific expert. She's a bad bitch. And she's from Brooklyn. So Brooklyn in the house. Not originally from Brooklyn, but that's where some of her roots are from. And I just love her. And this conversation was really great. And I'm starting with this one because she gives you some evergreen kind of information when it comes to video content. And it's so prevalent now that the pandemic has hit us, and where this is going. If you're not on video, you might not exist in the business world going forward. So let's jump right into this interview. And we start off with a pure generator's favorite thing to talk about, which is the plateau. So enjoy.
Just recently processing plateaus. I feel like everything in my life is cyclical. Like I'll think, oh my gosh, I've never been through this before. When I'm in the moment, I'll be like dying. And then I'll be like, wait, this happened last year around this time. So for me, I now look at them as, they're essential. And I feel like I'm going to push through it. That's how I look at it. Like, this is just temporary.
Okay. Now, when you say push through it, no, it makes sense. It's because you're a generator, and it's about the long game. When you say push through it, what does that feel like for you? Because we have a lot of generators listening who I get all the time, who are always like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or they get, you know what I mean? So what does that pushing through look like for you?
Yeah, for me, that pushing through looks like two things. It could look like, hey, this is temporary. You've got this. You're going to, like, you won't even know when it's over, kind of thing. Like, it's a time period, it's a time frame. And so you feel like this now, but this is not about the end game doesn't reflect what you feel now. And the second thing that I go through is like, for me, sometimes I'm going through a self-inflicted plateau, and I feel like I'll wake up and be like, girl, you the shit. What have you been thinking for the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Like, get out your funk, light some sage, like go work out. Like, because sometimes, yeah, like I said, they're self-inflicted. And so I realized, okay, I'm going through a plateau, but what have you been doing to contribute to this feeling? And then I'm like, oh, so we need to do the exact opposite. All right, let's get on it again.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And when you say self-inflicted,
Yeah.
what does that look like for you? Because I that makes sense to me, being,
Yeah.
In human design and all of that stuff. But
Right.
what does that actually look like? Where can you see the signs happening of, okay,
Yeah.
I'm starting to cause my own pain and my own detriment?
Yeah. You know what? I am an overthinker. So in being an overthinker, sometimes like I'll have periods where I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is life? Or like, and then I go deeper and deeper into that feeling. And then I have to say, wait, nobody told me that today isn't a good day. I told myself that it wasn't a good day. Or nobody told me that if I ate this junk, I don't have to get to the gym. I told myself that I can eat crap. And if I do, I can pick back up by going to the gym. The whole day doesn't have to be ruined. Like, so little stupid things like that is where I say it's self-inflicted. It's because I'm doing this to myself, or I'm telling myself these kinds of things that are resulting in these kinds of feelings that are resulting in these kinds of actions. So, it's like nobody told me, because sometimes things happen externally where, we pull in what someone has said to us, or someone just ruined our whole day. But sometimes it ain't nobody, girl. You got to check yourself. It's you.
So that's good to know. Now, what I do want to know from you, because I've actually, for this series, you're the second generator that I've interviewed. Right. I know, right? What I do want to know is, how have you, when it comes to, and we're going to talk about your career now, but prior to what you're doing now, what
Yeah.
was career life like for you as a teen, as an early 20s? Like, what was that
Yeah.
like for you?
As a teen, as a teen, I grew up in a family where everyone had their own business. So I knew off the bat, like I needed to have my own business. I didn't know what I was going to be, or what I wanted to be, or what I wanted to do. But as I moved forward, I followed the path of, say, go to school, get a job. And then I thought about myself as this powerful woman in this corporation and, like completely killing it. Obviously, I lived in New York City. So, coming out of a private college where that was where they were sending you, I ended up in the city, like in the hustle and bustle of it all, and then I kind of realized that this is not what I wanted. And I felt like I was being guided by my external environment into what they thought was right for me. And I tried a few things. I've always loved fashion. I've always loved makeup. I've always loved working out, health and wellness. Like I've always loved everything that is improvement of self. And I dived into that. And I realized that as I dived into that my soul still wasn't being fed, or like, and because like when I'm done working with a client, or I get off of calls with my mastermind, it's like I feel good, like I'm serving. And so I had to get out of that external mindset of where I was being led by people and lean into my soul needs to be fed. Like sometimes I get proposals to work with people, and if I don't feel it, I have to, no matter how big that bag is, I have to say, no, this is not for me. And sometimes that shit feels like, oh my
Sucks,
gosh.
right?
Yeah. But at the same time, I it's just so freeing at the same time to be able to choose myself and say no.
That is
So
good that you say that,
yes.
because as a generator, it's important
Uh-huh.
for generators to have clarity. And
Wow.
with you saying
Yeah.
that if it doesn't feel right, or if it doesn't look good,
Yeah.
or if it's not aligned with what I'm doing, no matter how big the bag is, I have to
Mm.
say no. And
Yeah.
I try to express that so much to generators, because
Mm.
what happens is that, because of the long game, is that those interruptions of, fake success or fake opportunities come in, and they're like, oh wait, I gotta, because I don't know when something else is going to come in. And it's just about being very clear. How has that clarity like happened for you in the like your life? Like, how is the clarity like really festered? Like, how did you get to that point?
I really got to that point by understanding that I just have to trust, and that was a huge, it's very scary. It's kind of like I was trying to explain to one of my cousins the other day about business. And she was telling me that her husband didn't do well at business because he was doing a full-time job, and he was also doing his own business, right? And so I guess both things were doing well, but he gave up his own business to lean on his full-time work. And I told her, and so she kind of absorbed that, like they're all salty about business in that household. And I told her that business is so crazy. A lot of times it's really about really trusting blindly and leaning into that thing. And I feel like if he had leaned into that thing, yes, you could have all the excuses in the world, it didn't work because this market changed or whatever. But I also feel like when you lean into something and you just trust blindly, which, girl, it's a thing. But I feel like for me, if it has to feel good in my mind, body, and soul. And if clarity for me is being in alignment with those three things, like everything is tuned in to this thing. And I realize that I'm at my happiest and really at my best when I'm zoned into those three, when all of those three things are checked off.
That makes so much sense. And speaking of your current career, you are a phenomenal video person. FYI, people, you would not see my face if it wasn't for Xayli at all. Let's give a round of applause. You would not see my face, no, or affirmations. None of that would happen if it wasn't for her. And with your career now, and how, and I'm with that situation with your cousin, what would be your advice to generators who are on that long journey, who do possibly have to work full time before
Yeah.
they find their thing, if they want that? What would you suggest? Because sometimes, as you know from your career now, it is a long game.
Yeah.
You're always talking about the long game, not that
Yeah.
short, quick, like if you coming to me for a viral video, I cannot help you. Like, you're always talking about the long game. So what advice do you have?
I mean, it's really about trusting what you're doing and knowing that it feels good to you. That is a huge thing. Like, we cannot do things for external praise and for acceptance and things like that. It doesn't work like that. Like, you have to know, anytime I start thinking outside of how I know I'm helping and serving people, shit goes crazy. So I have to really tune into how I know I'm connecting with someone, how I know I'm guiding them. It's deeper than just money for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
really connected to giving abundance to somebody else. So I feel like for us, we have to stay connected to that in order to stay focused and thrive. So even if you release a video and it gets 5 views, that's you building an empire. So you have to stay connected to that long game of what you're helping someone to do, rather than that one video having 5 views. Because if you stop right there, your next video could have gone viral, right? But you didn't stay on long enough to figure out that. Not that we're looking for viral videos,
Right,
but
but
keep in mind like what you're truly in your heart helping somebody else to accomplish or achieve. For me, I know that me helping women with video content, it helps them create abundance in their own empires and their own businesses. And for me, that is huge. Like, if I can give this gift of money to you in this way, I'm good. And that keeps me flowing and floating, even on days where I feel like nobody is seeing me. I'm not
Mm.
doing anything right. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm confused myself, which is the worst thing for a generator, like
Right.
being
Right.
confused. And so, you know, even though I go through those moments, I know what that thing is for me. I know what the end goal is for me. I can see that. I can see events packed out with me teaching women how to be, you know, themselves on camera, and how to get ready to get on camera, and what to say when they get on I can see that. So I have to stay connected to that and committed to that, even on days when I don't feel like it.
And this is why I love you. And this is why I love like having generators around me. And it's because that's really important to any of the auras listening. If you're a generator or you're not have a generator around you. And that's only because, especially when it comes to career and business, they really know what it's like to go the distance and to
Mm.
see things through, because that's what really works for them. That's what works for you all, is seeing it through. Now, when you talk about video content in your profession, why do you think that video is so important no matter what you're doing?
I feel like it gives the connection is insane. Like, you and I could be on Instagram liking each other's pictures and all of that, but us talking face to face, for me, I am like, I'll think about you random, like, I wonder how AC is doing now. That's because we've interacted on video, right? Or we've, you know, looked at each other's video content where you feel like that person is speaking directly to you. So a picture is great, but it does not give you that same kind of connection. Now, we all know that in business, we're trying to build that know, like, trust factor. So it's like, the more time that I spend with you, the more I feel like you're my friend in my head. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying? So it's
right.
like, you know, you want to support that friend, or you want to, you know, like, you and I were having a conversation of a channel that you were interacting with for a few months, and you felt like, oh my gosh, just sell me something. And
Right.
that's exactly that's exactly how I feel about video content, like having that thing, that offer. You know, I stress having an offer, or whatever it is that you're looking to help people do, or, you know, have people use, and really helping people to get to know you at the same time. Like, there's a good balance between all of those things that really helps someone along that sales journey. So I believe in video content so much, even for yourself. Get onto camera every day and talk to yourself about your feelings.
Mm,
Talk to
really?
yourself about your accomplishments.
Elaborate on that more, especially
Mm-hmm.
for the people who are listening and for my audience,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's in. My audience is, you know, not only just human design, but people just want to change their mindset and
Yeah.
grow and heal their inner
Mm.
child wounds and just learn more spiritual self-development stuff. Talk about that, because that is a really good tip. Why? What?
Yeah.
Explain that. Why would you do that?
Well, so I have created this thing called confidence. And it's where I feel like we're missing a few things when it comes to getting confident on camera. Video, to be on camera, you have to be very self aware, because now we're dealing with people, might be saying things, you know, is everything, do I sound smart? Do I look? You have so many things going on in there. And so I feel like, for me, that's one of the first stages of confidence, where you because you have to connect with yourself before you can connect with anyone else. And a lot of times our purpose is connected to a pain that we've had. And if you're speaking to yourself and something similar is coming up all the time, and you're able to conquer that thing, then that's something that you're able to tap into and help other people with till you really figure it out. So if you're just starting, it's a great way to figure things out. Another reason why I do this all the time is because I will get on camera and create a video, and then when I look back at myself, like, let's say I'm looking at YouTube and I stumble upon one of my videos, I do not like watching my videos back, but when I do, or when it creeps up, my reaction is, whoa, who is that girl? So that is so powerful that I realized I can do that for myself. And it's a great way to, I like bringing up the fact that rappers rap about millions, rappers rap about death. They rap, I love rap music and trap music, but you know, they say things and these things end up coming true because we know the power of the tongue. So if you can get onto camera and you can say the things that you want to say in a good way, the things that you really genuinely want, it's a great way to manifest those things, right?
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. That is so you listen, get in front of your phone and
Yeah.
speak things into existence to yourself.
Yeah. And I have a great script over at camfidence.com. So it's camera confidence, but it's CAMFIDENCE.com, where
And I'll
you
put
can
that in
actually
the show
read out.
notes. We'll definitely
You
put that
can
in the
read
show notes,
out the
guys.
things that, the things that we suffer with as business owners and as people out there on the internet, seeing all of the crazy things. I put all of those things into affirmations that I want you to sit in front of your phone and a tripod and repeat to yourself.
That is awesome. I think that is really, really good for everyone listening because that's just amazing. So one of my other questions for you is, what advice would you give your 16-year-old generator self? Like, knowing everything that you know now about you being a generator and that how your life has turned out, what would you give your 16-year-old self? Like, what would you tell yourself?
I would tell her that it is already written and that she's on the correct path and that patience along this journey is key, but to just operate in her zone of genius because it's already there. It's all already there. She already has everything that she needs to have. And the things that she doesn't have, she will be given those tools along the way, just not in the time that she thinks it should appear.
That timing. Speaking of timing, as a generator, give me your overall definition or how you associate timing in your life. What does that mean to you?
I feel like that timing for me is a lesson every day because as a generator, you're grinding and you want things to just appear and happen. And, you have to also understand that everything will happen in its time. It's going to happen. Like, it's kind of like when I was a kid and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I want these shoes and I don't have them yet. And it's like, well, girl, you got so many other pairs of shoes. My aunt used to tell me that if you didn't have so many shoes, you wouldn't have a problem in picking one to wear. If you had one, you would know, you would put your shoes on and get out the house. And so it's like, for me, that taught me so much patience because I understood that, hey, I don't have those, but take your time. It'll come, and it always came. I always got what I wanted. I may not have gotten it in the time that I expected, but it came. So timing is something that you have to be really patient with, and everything you want is going to happen in its timing. So you just got to be patient.
That was good. Hey, listen, generators, listen. So now we're going to do either or. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you tell me either or, and you can only pick one and you just have to tell me why. So the first one, video or audio?
Girl, video. Hello. Both, but no, I can only pick one. Okay,
pick one.
Video, because you could extract the audio and upload it to the podcast.
Okay, that's a good one. Number 2, switching to a new career each year or having the same career for 5 years at a time?
Damn, that is a tough one. Shit. I mean, I believe in the long game. Yes, I do. But I also believe in if you feel like you need to shift, don't be afraid of it. Like,
only one.
Damn.
Only one.
Which one was first?
Switching a new career each year or the same career for 5 years at a time?
I'd say the same career, but I have an argument that I guess I can't make. I feel sick. This is not a good game.
Just choose one.
Okay, yeah, sticking to a career.
Okay, so 5 years spans at a time. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, 5 years? Okay, I can do that. Yeah. So yeah.
5 years at a time. It's either switching to a new career every single year.
Oh, girl, no. Okay, I didn't. Okay, yeah.
Or
okay, yes.
having a career for 5 years at a time and then you switch.
but I might get bored. I don't like that. But yeah, I guess.
So 5
Yeah.
years at a time. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you need to try this thing. And
Okay.
yeah.
So that's giving it your all.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 3, YouTube or Instagram?
YouTube.
All right. Explain why.
Mm-hmm.
No, I said explain why.
I get to explain now.
Yes, you get to explain.
Because YouTube is searchable content. YouTube gets me new customers and clients every single day. Instagram is instant and it dies. It's amazing for leading your
That
people
was
back.
rude. That was shady.
I'm sorry.
You're like, and it dies. Your content
it
dies.
does. Like, girl, what you posted last week is not doing nothing for nobody. It's there.
Okay.
You know?
That's fair.
Yeah, I believe in YouTube. You can also repurpose, girl. So
Yes. Okay. That's right.
that.
Number 4, a personal trainer or a personal chef?
A personal chef,
Okay.
because working out is 20% of the battle, girl, but 80% is what you put in your mouth. And I feel like food fuels your brain in order to get all of this craziness that we have committed to done. So I would do the chef.
Okay. The last but not least, this is one I ask everybody. Do the last 5 years over or skip to the next 5 years?
I would skip to the next 5 years. I'm comfortable and confident in my last 5 years. Lots of lessons, lots of blessings. I'm cool with it.
Wow.
I'd like to see.
You were the second person.
Really? Both generators or no?
No, I think both. You're the third person. You're the second generator. Well, the only one that I've interviewed, the second one, and then a manifesting generator. Interesting. Everybody else said go back the last 5 years.
I worked too hard in them last 5 years. I need to see these fruits, girl.
Said skip to the last.
Skip now.
You're like, let me skip.
Let me see what all this hard work did. But yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell the audience about just being a generator, or what you do, or how to? I mean, you gave some really great gems. And I think a lot of generators and the other auras will definitely relate to this, especially that Camfidence. I'm going to put that link in the show notes so you can download that and follow Xayli. Xayli's amazing. Like I said, y'all, I would not be on camera anywhere if it wasn't for her. Y'all would be like, who is AC Brown? Like, I don't know.
That's what I first asked when I met you. Like, wait, is this a robot? But no. Anything that I would like to share. Don't be afraid to reinvent yourself as long as you think you need to. We're constantly going through different things. And this is kind of on my heart today, because I feel like I've lived so much online. I've gone through breakups online. I have been so committed to social media for so long that I kind of grew being online, especially the last, I would say, probably 8 years of my life have all been kind of public. And so a lot of things I don't do is because I'm committed to, oh my gosh, this brand that I created online, if I switch or if I move or it might be scary for my audience. But I also have to understand I'm a person. And if people love me, they are going to love everything that I evolve and grow into. And I can't stunt my growth because of that self-inflicted. I think people are not going to like, my new visions or my new goals or the person that I grow into. Sometimes we keep ourselves back because of those things. So I want to remind people to just not be afraid to really show up and be who the heck you were created to be.
I love that. Thank you so much for this. And you're amazing. Follow her. Join all her programs if you have problems getting online and showing your face, because she will help you and she will give you the tools to. What I love about you is that you make it make sense, and you make it not about actually being on video. It's almost like people who are not on video, who have a message, whether you're a coach, whether you're you offer a product, a certain whatever, you're almost doing your audience a disservice by not letting them get to know what you do and how you do it. So
Thank you, AC. I don't make me cry.
well, thank you so much. And until next time, guys. Thank you for listening to another episode of Is My Aura on Straight? Make sure you follow me on Instagram at AC Brown, and also check out my website for products and services at www.acbrown.com. And until we meet again, make sure you have a great week filled with good vibes and good energy.